D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I just finished the episode of The Bad Batch, number 7. And I have to be honest with you. This show is not like I don't dislike this show, but it's like I don't know what their goal is with it. I think their I think their goal with this show is to just bring on as many characters as they possibly can, so then they can bring them to live action. Like I honestly think either the Bad Batch will show up in live action somewhere as like a cameo, like we saw in Mandalorian season 2. Like they're going to show up in Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett. Or, and this show is just so you can do cameos of all these other characters. Like this episode, we got Rex, and we'll get into this when we do the breakdown. But, we got Fennec Shand in one episode. We got the Rancor last episode and Bib Fortuna and everything. We got to see that. And my whole thing is like, the Bad Batch is like the most boring characters in the show, and they're the main characters. Like I don't care about them. I literally just don't care about them. But I love Star Wars, so I love seeing this universe. And I'm like the whole time watching, I'm like, where are they going with this show? Like I understand what's happening, but like with Rebels, it was like the start of the rebellion. And with Clone Wars, it was the Clone Wars, obviously. But with this show, I'm just like, okay, you got this ragtag group of clones that are now like bounty hunters slash whatever, like they just do jobs kind of thing. And I'm like, I just don't care. I don't care. And but they're connected with every character in the Star Wars universe. Like that's my problem also, is like every single character that's been in the Star Wars universe has to be on this show. I'm like, why? I don't get it, but whatever, it's fine. So why don't we go ahead and break down this episode, and I'll get into it just a little bit more as we go along through this episode. So it starts off that they are stealing this lizard creature from these guys on this planet, and these fighters are shooting at their ship, which is great. I love spaceship battles. I don't think these shows have enough of them. Well, this show at least doesn't have enough spaceship battles, but I don't really like their ship. I hope they do get a new one because I don't like this ship, but whatever. What are you gonna do? So they're firing and everything, and they get the lizard in, and it breaks out and it jumps all over Wrecker and everything, and they jump to hyperdrive finally because what's his face gets it fixed. Tech does or whatever. They jump to hyperdrive, and these fighters are left all by themselves and everything. So we're back at this lizard lady's bar slash casino thing or whatnot. And she's sitting there, and she's like, hey, I'll go get your money kind of thing. And they see this hooded figure in the back. This this reminded me of Lord of the Rings when Strider is sitting in the back of the prancing pony kind of thing. And what's his face, Hunter, notices him, but he just obviously doesn't do anything because he doesn't do it. And these two are like, hey, can we go and everything? And he's like, sure, whatever. And he's like, it's a tradition and everything, because that plays a part in it later. So then this hooded guy is all drinking, and it ends up being Rex. But anyways, so she gives him like 3 of these little chips or whatever. And they're like, hey, what's going on here? This seems like not an equitable deal kind of thing. And she's all like, well, you guys owe me for, and then she shows them the receipts or whatnot. And they owe her for like docking fees, fuel, weapons repair, rations, and then also this little popcorn things that these two buy after every mission. And she's all like, that's 14 credits. And he's all like, put it on Lizard Lady's tab kind of thing. So then this guy, this hammerhead guy, I don't remember the name of their species, but he's all talking to Strider, which turns out to be Rex. He's like, hey, you're in my spot and everything. So they kind of get in a little thing, a little tiff, and you hear some blasts going on, and these guys run out, and then they come out, and he reveals himself to be Rex. And he's all like, they're like, Captain Rex or whatever. And she's all like, this is not a clone club or whatever. And he's sitting there, and they're talking everything. And he's like, not too many of us clones made it out, to be on our own kind of thing. And so they're sitting there talking, and then Wrecker and Omega show up, and he's all like, who are you? And she's like, I'm Omega. You're a Generation 1. I can tell by the lines on your forehead and everything. And you're all like, okay, yeah. And then they're talking, and then Wrecker is all like, and everything. And I knew the head thing would come up again because once they did that the first episode, which I think was episode 2, I knew that would come back up. And I'm all like, oh, way to like, be, I don't know, I don't know. Anyways, so he's all like, you guys still have your inhibitor chips in? And they're like, yeah. And so like, he gets out his gun because he's ready to, shoot, because he's like, those inhibitor chips are the worst thing that you can do to keep those in your head, because, just because you're fighting it off now doesn't mean you're going to be fighting it off to be able to fight it off tomorrow. And Wrecker, you can obviously tell that something's going on. And he's like, we need to get those out. And he's like, how do we get them out? And he's like, I'll be in touch. So then they go through hyperspace, and Wrecker's, still got his problems, and they're trying to figure out this little headband thing because he's gonna get him taken out, or they're going to get him taken out. So, they fly in and they go to this planet, and it's all these starships from the old Republic and everything, and all these Generation 1 Star Destroyers. And they land, and Rex is all like, hey, why? They're like, why are we here? And he's like, this is where I got I got mine taken out on a ship like this. And you remember that was in the last season of Clone Wars, when Ahsoka took him in there and she, did an impromptu surgery. And so they go, and they're like, why didn't we land closer? And they're like, because that's why. These guys, they own this planet, and they're like, trash people or whatever. I don't remember what their title was or whatnot. So they go into the ship and everything, and they're just traveling through. And she's like, it's much bigger, closer up. Well, yeah, dummy. Anyways, so they get by this water, and Hunter's all like, stay above the water line. And I'm all like, okay, the creature's gonna show up. And and so they're like, so they're traveling along, and they get to a spot where they got to cross this little rope thing. And of course, Wrecker's the last one because he doesn't like heights. I don't like heights either, but, but he gets on there. Of course, he weighs a lot, and he falls. So he's dangling above the water, and the creature shows up and grabs him. And then they are trying to pull him out. He gets pulled under the water, and then he, pulls himself up, kind of thing. And the creature shows up. Now, I thought it would be the junkyard, the like junk creature from episode 4, A New Hope, when its eyeball popped up. Like, I was waiting to see the eyeball and like look around and then drop back down. And maybe this is the creature, they just redesigned it. I don't know. But to me, it looked more like the Sarlacc pit than anything else. And then so they're shooting it, and they shoot it, and he gets up and everything. And then they're traveling through the ship. And he's all like, it really hurts and everything. And I'm all like, all right, when is he going to switcheroo and everything? And, and so she's worried because she's like, what if this doesn't work, kind of thing. And finally, Wrecker, does the switch. And he's all like, you're in violation of Order 66. You must be terminated. A good soldier follows orders. And he just starts attacking everybody. And they try to take him down. And then finally, Omega, he takes down everybody except Omega. And she's like, she runs away. And I'm going to use that as my thumbnail. So she runs away, and she gets underneath the door. And of course, he's strong. So he like lifts it up and everything. And she's hiding. And he's looking for her and everything. And finally, he finds her. And she's all like, Wrecker, you're my friend. Don't make me do this. And she doesn't shoot. He takes the gun away from her because she can't shoot her friend. And me, I'm all like, why didn't you put it on stun and shoot him? Duh, dummy. And so he's about to shoot her, and he's like, a good soldier follows orders. You've been conspiring with, defective clones or whatever he says. And then he gets shot by Rex. He gets stunned by Rex. So then they put him in the surgery, and it's, and they're like, how long is this going to take? And Rex is like, I don't know. I was on the other side of this the last time, so I don't know how long it's going to take. So he comes out, and he's, of course, unconscious. And they're like, and Omega's like, I'm not leaving his side. I'm sitting right here, and I'm going to stay with him. And I'm like, yeah, good for you. And so, Rex is looking at his helmet and like contemplating, I don't know, his existence. Who knows? Who cares? Anyways, so then Wrecker wakes up. And they're like, hey, good on you, mate, and everything. And I'm like, who's next? So they all get the little surgery. They all got their little bandages on their head. And sorry, my neighbor was like staring at me like a weirdo. Anyways, so and then so she's all like, and then he goes and he apologizes. He's like, listen, I'm sorry for what I did. You didn't mean to do it and everything. She's like, it's all right. You weren't in control of yourself or whatever she says. And then she pops out the popcorn that they got from before. She's like, the mission's over. It's tradition. And then they start eating it. And they're like, these are yummy, yummy, yummy popcorn. That popcorn looks like little brains. Anyways, whatever. I'd probably eat it. So then Rex and Hunter are sitting here talking, and they're just, Rex is like, he's on his little horn and everything. And he's like, can't give up the fight and everything. And he's all like, I got to protect the Republic. And he's like, the Republic is over. And he's like, yeah, but we're trying to build something new. And I think he's talking about like the rebellion, because I can't remember off the top of my head, but Rex shows up in Rebels. Yeah, he shows up in Rebels, like the last season, I think, or maybe season 3. I don't remember off the top of my head. And he looks a lot different from here. So I'm like, what happened between then? which is crazy, because I'd much rather, that's the thing. Every time they introduce a new character like Fennec Shand or now Rex, I'd much rather see a show about what happened to Rex after Order 66. I'd rather watch that than watch a show about the Bad Batch. I literally don't care about the Bad Batch. Like, I literally don't care. Like, I hope they die next episode. All 4 of them. And all 5. Omega 2. I don't like Omega. But Rex is all like, you could help out kind of thing. And Hunter's like, we'll keep in touch kind of. And all that. So then, Rex leaves and Hunter's just sitting there. And then you get these little guys, these trash people, and they're all like, we notify the Empire. And so that's where it ends. And so, hold on, I want to get a good shot right here. We'll do this one. So that's where it ends. And this is, again, what I said before. Like, I'm interested. I'm watching this show still because I like Star Wars and I like this world and I like, I just like, I don't like everything about it, but my problem with this show is they've given me characters that I don't care about, and they're giving me storylines that just like I said before, I feel like they're just doing this show so they can do cameos of past characters, which I don't understand why Star Wars needs to do this. And they're just, I don't know. It's just boring. Like, that's my whole thing. Like, I'm just like, I'm not interested in these characters' stories. I just want Star Wars, which is, I don't know. Maybe it's ridiculous. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, it's like the show's not good. It's not bad, but it's not good, but it's very Star Wars. And like I said before, when it comes to adding all these cameos, it's like, okay, for instance, the prequel trilogy. I didn't like that George Lucas had to have every single character from the original trilogy in the prequel trilogy. Like, R2-D2 had to be in there. C-3PO had to be in there, and had to have a special background story. Like Anakin had to build C-3PO. Why don't you just have C-3PO just built from some rando, in a factory, and he's now in their, possession or whatnot? I don't, it's like Rey not having special parents before she had special parents. I go, that's fine by me. Rey doesn't need to have special parents. She could just be a Jedi. But and it's like, they're adding in all these characters, like the Rancor last episode. Like, the Rancor had to be in there. Like, what is going on here? And it's also, I just think they're adding all these cameos in just so they can have cameos and just so they can introduce these characters in live action. Or if they've already, like Fennec Shand, they already introduced her live action. And so now they're just, but like I said before, I'd much rather watch an entire show dedicated to Fennec Shand than watch The Bad Batch. So I wish I didn't think like that. I'm trying to see past that whole thing, but I can't get past it. Like, it's just like, I don't know. I'm glad these are only 20 minutes or whatever, because if they weren't, I'd be so annoyed. I couldn't sit through an hour of this. I wouldn't cover it if it was an hour, but I'm glad that they're only 20, 25 minutes, something like that. Anyways, so tell me what you guys think about The Bad Batch. Do you really like this show? And if so, explain to me why, because I'm trying to love this show, but I don't. I just watch it and I'm like, I love being in the Star Wars universe, so that's why I like watching it. But it's not bad. I don't want to sit here and be like, this show sucks. It doesn't suck. It's not bad. It's just not like Clone Wars. is very like I could and Rebels, both of them very exciting. Maybe they need more spaceship battles. I don't know. But like those two shows were so exciting, and I couldn't wait to watch the next episode of those because they were so thrilling. This show is not thrilling to me. It's just very like boring. It's just boring. Like it's, it's like whatever. It's like white bread kind of thing. All right. Again, tell me what you guys think about this show. Do you like this show? Do you not like this show? How mad are you at me right now? If you like this video, go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on next week on The Bad Batch. You guys have a good week. Bye.